Mr. Swamy, welcome to the Bay Area. Can you tell us about your purpose for this visit?
I'm here more like a private visit to California today, and I was here in Washington for a few days, and I couldn't go back without coming to Bay Area because I lived here for all along, almost 10 years, and there are thousands of people which I know and whom I know, and I just wanted to say hello to them and go back.
And you've initiated this meeting today here in Sunnyvale regarding the consulate and the issues concerning the consulate. What is your message to the community here in the Bay Area?
To the community, I think the purpose of the meeting today here was to engage with changing India, and for myself, like more like an understanding of what needs to be done at the consulate and also at our ministry level, so that we can have a much more useful, productive, and enjoyable connection with India, so the people here are not getting frustrated with the lack of services if there are any. So just want to hear from them directly. I'm just doing this more like a personal effort to connect the two entities and two worlds, because I lived here for a long time, and I felt there are some improvements that can be made. So I just want to hear from the people directly and take them back and see what I can do and how we can solve one by one.
You've lived in India, but you've also lived in the US for many years and you've worked for Sun. What is something that you took back from India, and after seeing life over here, what did you take back over there, and specifically in your capacity as MP?
When I went back from in 2007 to India, I believe one of the things that I took back is from the Silicon Valley is taking risk is part of life, and there is no risk, no reward. And also another thing probably I liked here is most of the time we are afraid of failure, right? So these things are not keeping us away from the success. That is also one big lesson I learned from the Bay Area, probably which I would not have acquired it elsewhere. And also thinking big and following the dreams is something that occurs in the Bay Area. So I must admit that those things really influenced me. And in India, it's a very large democracy and with significant diversity. One good thing from India, what we can learn is our ability to coexist in spite of all the cultural and other differences we have. So that is a message probably from India is, how can we live together and how can we be successful in spite of we being different. So I think that's a good message from India, I believe.
Right now there's a lot of talk about corruption and anti-corruption movement in India. How do you react as a government official? And I know there might be some corruption, but there's probably some people in the government that are not corrupt. How do you react to the anti-corruption movement?
It is certainly a time to pay attention to this issue. I'm glad that India is awakening for this issue. Most importantly, I believe we need to identify the root cause of the corruption. It is more like a very vague, and we all have a different definitions of how it starts, how it ends. But more importantly, before we start applying a treatment, we need to diagnose. So, but more importantly, I think we are getting more awareness in this topic today. I'm glad that it's happening today, because it was high time the country should take this issue seriously. And while I think everyone agrees on the goal, I think there is a lot of disagreement on how do you reach that goal. That is also something we need to work out as a country in order to come out with the best solution, so that it is scalable and sustainable, and it also takes the interest of the future more importantly.
Some of the issues that a lot of the people brought up here, like parking at the consulate or the forums being lengthy, and difficult to read. A lot of those issues have existed for over 30 years. I mean, the consulate building has been the same for so many years. How do you think that that is going to change now?
I think those are very valid concerns. I myself went to the consulate and saw there is a room for improvement, and certainly we should take these things more seriously. I am hoping that I can bring this to the government of India's attention, and I am also confident that we will do something about it.
You're from the Chitradurga constituency in Karnataka. Can you talk something about that specific region and what are some of the changes you've brought to that region?
Chitradurga is one of the very important part of Karnataka, and it has a historic importance. There are several civilian and a lot of historic importance comes from the fort and other very important tourism places now. It is, I think, about 2.5 million people now, and it is a large constituency, and it is about 200 kilometers from Bangalore. It is in the center of Karnataka, and this has been somewhat very backward constituency all along. One of the major problem is we do not have the good water source locally, and that is kind of holding all the progress and economic prosperity. We are trying to solve that problem by bringing in the water from a nearby dam called Bhadra Dam, and it's going to cost us $1.5 billion. That has been in the discussion for many decades now. I am so glad that with the help of our Chief Minister Yediyurappa ji and several other ministers and the local people, their elected representatives, collectively we are able to solve that problem. And today work has begun, and now almost several hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent already in last 1.5 years. So I'm so glad to see the work really getting executed after 40 years of struggle. So, and several mega institutions are also coming to my constituency, Chitradurga. One of them is Indian Institute of Science, and the next one is a DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, and the other one is Baba Atomic Research Center, and fourth one is ISRO, ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, equivalent to NASA here. So there, ISRO is opening up its satellite design center in Chitradurga. So many of these things combined, and also with the new railway connectivity which we are able to get, all of them put together, it's going to change the local dynamics. I'm sure it's going to serve the justice to the people who waited for so long.
Thank you. It's nice to see all the changes and nice to hear of all the changes that you're making in your community and impacting your community. Now you speak Kannada.
Yes, I do.
Do you have a message for the Kannada audience in the Bay Area in Kannada?
ನನಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಖಂಡಿತ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಈ ಸರಿ ನೀವು ಬಂದಾಗ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹಿಂದುಳಿದ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದೊಂದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಆಗಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತದ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much. Good day.